Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I apologize to the panel that we've got a hearing going on downstairs, so we're back and forth in between, and perhaps I've missed some of your testimony that targeted what my questions were, but I want to begin with saying I'm going to start by assuming you've all read Case's book, The Third Wave. Two out of three of it. I was fascinated with that book, the possibilities of where we might go. Long term, things of like it was mentioned about refrigerator that it could speak to you. Your clothing could tell you whether your wellness. Those are all interesting long terms. I'm somewhat interested in the short term though. However, and that is there anyone? Can you tell me from the three experiences we have up here? Is there something in the pipeline for the IoT that might indicate the propensity of an area to have a problem with opioid abuse? I know some people they've talked about doing it to be able to develop where that might be, but is there anyone that you know of that's actually got something close to fruition that we could do this? Because we're getting, as we all know, nationally getting hit pretty hard with this, and we don't know where the next problem is going to crop up until after we're reacting rather than being proactive. So I'm curious to see, with the Internet of Things in a short term, is there someone developing software that might be able to identify where the next problem could crop up?
Yes, actually, Intel's working on exactly on that problem, considering the monitoring of medicine and the ability to know exactly where that medicine is going and is it going to the right person, monitoring how many tablets are there and knowing exactly who's taking those, having some facial detection, who's picking up those tablets. And so absolutely, I believe that there is a connection. You've made a very relevant connection, and thank you for that.
What's the time scale? Do you have a sense of
we're seeing an implementation immediately, and it's an evolution over time. Remember, we're not going to have facial detection immediately at all of our pharmacies, but it'd be interesting. It's an evolution over time, but we're seeing implementations right away in which we can start to monitor medicine better. It's just a matter of, is it getting to the right person, how many, and are the right people taking it? So you think about it in the opioid, but you can also think about it with the elderly patients as well, right? Or making sure they're taking their medicines on time.
That may be working, but again, the propensity, that this area, this community may be hit hard next. That's what I'm looking for as well. Where the fact that there could be some software that says with the drugs, 20 million pills are going to one pharmacy, that ought to trigger something. But in the meantime, is there socioeconomic barriers that we need to break down? So, Mr. Day, you look like you were going to contribute to this conversation.
So, yes, at the Chamber, Congressman, we have been looking at economic situations across the country and that impact of joblessness and how communities have been impacted by this plight, and looking at ways that we can start to examine the linkage between the two. And I think to the point on monitoring pill bottles and knowing times of when they're taken and monitoring who are getting their prescriptions, et cetera. Those are things that are happening now, but there is a lot more to be done.
Well, if I could on that, let's just, because you touched on something I'm kind of sensitive to, is the socioeconomic, the economic household income, education level. Like West Virginia has, some will use that as the excuse for why West Virginia is leading the nation in opioid. But number two, until last year, was New Hampshire. And New Hampshire has polar opposites on that. It has one of the highest household income, it has the highest education level, and on and on with good socioeconomic. So I think there is something separating the two between those. So I'm just curious if someone's developing something more sophisticated than just going on socioeconomics.
I'm not personally aware, to be honest with you, but I think it would be an opportunity for us to work together as we continue our work at the Chamber and working with our member companies on various technologies, and I'd be happy to do that.
I'd like to pursue that.
I'd like to offer that we can follow up with the details of the solution I just
If you could, back to my office, I'd appreciate that.
I'd love to do that.
All of you. Thank you very much. I yield back my time.